Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today to pick my read, I'm going to be doing the bookshelf scavenger hunt. I've seen a couple people do these videos recently and I just think that they're so fun. As I was watching a bunch of them, some people have different questions and I'm going to be choosing the questions from this specific video. I just thought those were really fun. I hope that this works out in like one go because I don't exactly have the largest TBR, but I am trying to get through my TBR. Like, it's a goal for January to just read what's on my TBR card and get through it before I buy new books for the year. So let's just get started and see what book I end up with. I have the questions here on my laptop. So the first prompt is pick a book that you gave 5 stars and then find another book that you would recommend to people who liked that book. Okay, so I feel like I have to go between friends and lovers because every time I was doing my 2024 ranking or my book awards, reading wrap-ups, this kept coming up. So this is definitely a book that I think about often and it's a 5-star read. And I feel like if people liked this book, I would recommend, I'm thinking Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, just because these are very different books, but the two main characters are very acts of service. Like, that's their love language, and that's something that I loved the most about both of these books. So the next prompt is count the number of letters in the title and then pick a random spot on your shelf and count to this book. There's 16 letters in this title, and I'm just gonna choose a random spot. I'm just gonna go here. Okay, so the next book is You Made a Fool of Debt with Your Beauty. The next prompt is look at what is on the cover and find another book with similar elements on its cover. So the reason that I decided to go with Happy Place is, one, they're both pink, and obviously they both have very summery, beachy elements. And then she's obviously one single black woman on here with a yellow swimsuit, and on this cover, the only black woman is also wearing a yellow swimsuit. I don't know, I just feel like this was the perfect pick for this one. The next prompt is reverse the page number of the book and find another book with a similar page count. So Happy Place has 385 pages. So I'm looking for 583, a book that's around 583 pages. So a really long one. This one gets pretty close, 561 pages. So the next prompt is list some of the tropes of the book and find another book that shares one or more of these tropes. I'm just gonna do powerless, enemies to lovers. That trope is in both of these books. The next prompt is find a book that has the same color combination as your current book. I feel like this is as close as I could find. It's not exact, but like the green background, and they honestly give off the same vibe. There's literally like a dagger on both of these. This one's like silver and it has a gold handle, but there's some silver. This is mostly gold, but there's a little bit of silver, there's definitely green, and there's definitely black. So I'm just gonna go with this. It's as close as I could get. The 7th prompt is read the first sentence and pick any word in that sentence and find a book with that word in the title or on the cover. The first sentence of this book is, when I was a kid, my mom constantly invented games. You see, if I was a normal person that had Hunger Games on their shelf, this would have been an easy one. I have nothing with games on my shelf. Invented, no. Constantly, no. Mom? I do have mom! I'm glad my mom died. Okay, that was way easier than I thought. The 8th prompt says to go the acknowledgements and find a book written by an author with the same or similar name as one of the names listed. This one sounds like it could potentially be a pain. I mean, I guess it depends on how many. This is a short acknowledgement. Okay, Sean, Norm, Peter, Jill, Aaron, Jamie, Ari. All right, so we have a few names. I feel like Peter is such a common name, but I don't really read books by men. So I'm actually gonna go with Pizza Girl by Jean, because Jean and Sean sound nothing alike, but they have 3 letters in common, and that's the closest that I could find. The next prompt is to look at the cover of the book and find a book with a similar looking cover. Did we not have this already? This is a very unique cover. The only thing that I'm happy about is that there's a lot going on. There's clearly a city. I'm pretty sure this is in Los Angeles. Yeah, this is based in Los Angeles, so there's like a sunny little city, palm trees, there's a pizza that looks like a storm, and there's a car. Definitely a unique cover, but I gotta find something close enough. So as I predicted, this cover is like way too unique to find anything that looks similar to it, but here's my thought process. So as we said, we've got a little city behind there with the palm trees, and this one, so different, I know, but there's like a city behind them and they're like leaning against a palm tree. So that's the similarity there. And as I said, I know that this one is based in Los Angeles. This one is also based in Los Angeles, and there are palm trees down here, but I think this one might be even more of a reach. Magnolia Parks, this is definitely a reach. It's just the layout is kind of the same, even though none of the elements are really the same at all. I mean, there's a different city in here. This is London, Los Angeles. Whoever designed these covers kind of just took a bunch of elements from the actual book and put this like picture in the middle. They have the same idea and concept going on, even though the actual elements aren't the same. I'm keeping that one. And this one is the same as that one. Like, I just know that this is California, the palm trees. So it's this or this. Honestly, I'm going with this. Having read these books, like, I know that the people who designed these covers were like going for the same idea, just grabbing elements from the book. So after you read it, you look back on the cover and you're like, oh, it all makes sense now. Like, that's the feeling that I had when reading these both. So Magnolia Parks is our next one. So this is our final prompt. This is the thing that will make or break the challenge. The last prompt says to add your birth month and date together. Turn to that page and find a book with that word in the title. I think I wrote that wrong, but I get what it's saying. So I'm going to add my birth month and my birthday together, which my birth month is April, so 4 plus 23. My birthday is the 23rd, and that's 27. And then I'm gonna go to page 27 in this book, and I'm gonna find any word on this page to pick a book from my TBR cards. Does that make sense? Like, the title has to have a word from this page. I don't know why I'm overcomplicating this. So nothing specifically like jumps out at me as I just read it once, but I'm gonna go through my TBR card in a second. The only thing that I'm sad about is that the word wedding is on this page multiple times, and I wish the wedding people was on my physical TBR. It's like on my mental TBR. Anyway, I'm gonna go through the cart and figure this out. I forgot how much Magnolia talks like a freak. Like, she talks, how do I explain? If you know, you know. There's not a lot to go off of here. Obviously, I could choose an article like I, there, but that would defeat the purpose, you know? I could use of. Lots to go off there, but if I was gonna choose a book based off an article, you know, what's the point? So she says families on this page quite a bit. We went to the party, our families were overjoyed. A dream come true, the marriage of our perfect families. And that isn't exact to this choice, but I'm gonna go with What a Happy Family by Samaya Dave. I just feel like that's close enough. The alternative would be to choose a book based on an article, and I don't know, I just feel like that defeats the purpose. I bought this book very randomly one day. That's how most of the books end up on my TBR. But this is a book that's based in Atlanta. It says one family learns the funniest punchlines can hide the hardest truths in this evocative woman's fiction novel. It sounds pretty interesting. The last paragraph says, as they encounter public humiliation, gossiping aunties, and self-doubt, the Joshi family must rely on one another like never before. But sometimes family has to fall apart in order to come back stronger. So yeah, I'm gonna read What a Happy Family by Samaya Dave. So I'm only in the first chapter of this book, like literally in the middle of the first chapter. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it a little bit is because this is about an Indian American family, and the two parents are doing really well for themselves. They're pretty successful. The oldest daughter is like following in their footsteps. And then the second daughter, Natasha, we're in her point of view in the first chapter, and she has this secret that she has to tell everyone. She has this news that she's like really anxious to tell everyone when they're at brunch. Like everyone's just having a normal brunch, gossiping, telling jokes, whatever, and she's like really nervous. And I'm really excited to find out what it is. So I just feel like I needed to kind of talk about it a little bit, because I'm like in the first chapter where I have no idea what's going on, and I'm guessing the news is about Natasha. So yeah, that's basically what this book is about. I'm really curious, I'm intrigued right now, and I will keep you updated. This is getting so dramatic already. I honestly didn't think that it would be dramatic at all. I've been reading this quite slowly, and not because it isn't good. I think this book has the ability to hold my attention, and I'm like really into it right now. But I've been distracted because of something to my eyes. If you've watched my last two vlogs, I think in one of them went to the eye doctor, had some issues there, and then in the other one it like solved itself, got the glasses, and now that I have them, I think my prescription on one of them is wrong. This one makes my eyes twitch, and this one is like fine. It's a whole mess. I don't know what's going on. I have to go back. But that's obviously very distracting, because reading, you need your eyes the most. Another reason that I'm reading this slower is because I'm in the middle of two other books, which I don't usually do. So I was reading this on rotation. That's funny because I'm currently in the chapter for the eldest daughter. She's also a doctor. But anyway, I was reading this, stopped at page 68 because Onyx Storm came in the mail. And this is obviously what's distracting me the most. And I've been reading Onyx Stone for like almost a week. I only have this much left, but pause on it. Even though I haven't read much, I'm having a good time reading it. That's the update. And there's like drama in here that I didn't expect. I thought it was gonna be more like a book with life lessons and stuff, and like finding yourself, which I think it probably will be. So we find out what happens with Natasha, and I'm like, is this the scandal? Like that? It is a scandal with parents. Like, yeah, it would be, but I'm like, it's really not that big of a deal. But then as we're in the eldest daughter's chapter, now I'm seeing like she could potentially have a scandal for real, for real. Good morning. I am about to go back to the eye doctor. And then hopefully after that, I'm just gonna go to a cafe and get some reading done. That all just depends on if I get somewhere to sit. I feel like trying to find a seat in a cafe in New York in the winter is impossible. I feel like I usually am set on one. And I'm like, I want to be at this one because I like this one. And if I don't get a seat there, then I just go home. But I have a few backups now. So we'll see how today goes. I would just love for my eye to stop twitching. I think yesterday I was trying to explain my expectations with this book, and I was just like not getting the point across. Maybe I did. I don't know. As I said, brain fog right now. But I think what I was trying to say yesterday is that I never expected there to be humor. My door just closed on its own. What is going on right now? Anyway, as I was saying, the point that I was trying to get across is that I didn't expect to find humor in this book. I thought it was going to be something like really serious and deep, borderline like emotional and heartbreaking, and I thought it was going to wreck me. It could possibly still do all of those things, but it has humor behind it, and it's just really relatable, and it feels casual. That's what I was trying to say yesterday. Don't know if I made that point, but I'm making it now, and that's all that matters. My cycle has started, and it hasn't been bad at all. Like, I haven't had a single cramp, which is unheard of for me, but I feel really bloated, and that's why this is my outfit. The chunkiest sweater I own, and then the baggiest jeans that I own, which honestly, wearing loose things when it's windy, it doesn't work for me. Like, all the wind makes me so cold in these loose areas, but this is what I'm most comfortable in right now when I'm bloating. Update on the book, first of all, because I feel like I haven't been talking about it very much, even though I'm really enjoying it. So I think I said before that only the sisters and the mom gets a chapter, but everyone gets a chapter. The dad, the sister's husband, literally everyone has a chapter, the brother, and I kind of love that. Usually when books do this, I'm like really focused on one person and I'm like, let's get back to their point of view because I don't care much about you, but I'm actually intrigued by everyone. I thought that the big main scandal was going to be surrounding the middle child, Natasha, but the eldest sister, Suhani, she actually has something, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that by the way, but the eldest sister, she has something going on. Someone from her past just showed up at the place that she works at a hospital, and we don't know what went down between them. We're just kind of going through not the story and not knowing. Like, they keep talking about it, and I'm guessing we'll find out soon enough or at the end or something. And I kind of love when stories do this too, like I'm left in the dark and then we find out later. It's kind of like a tiny mystery, but nothing like thrilling and crazy, and you know, nothing that's gonna scare me. I also feel like I'm relating so much to their relationships with their parents, even though I don't have immigrant parents. My parents don't live here. They're from Antigua and they stayed there. They probably will always be there, which good for them. But I feel like if you have immigrant parents, you will probably relate to it even more, because I'm like really seeing so many similarities, and I've been underlining things. And I love that part of it. I love relating to books, love relating to things that I read. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm recommending it so far. We'll see how it goes. Gotta continue. And I'm honestly kicking myself because I have 3 tiers on my TBR card. The top shelf is like my immediate TBR. Like, these are things that I'm focused on and I really want to read next. And this was never on the top shelf because I don't know, I bought it and just kind of never thought about it again. Why do I do that? I don't know, but I'm so glad that this little challenge like made me pick this. I'm having a great time with it so far. So eye update, I went back to my optometrist and they did something with like the red dots, and like I think it has to do with the positioning of, listen, I don't know how to explain anything. I let them do their thing, and I haven't had any eye twitching since then, but I don't want to jinx it, you know? Like, I have to not have my eye twitch for 3 days straight before I'm gonna feel like, yeah, this is gone, we're good. And I also didn't put back on the other ones, and I've been wearing these all day and they feel great. My eyes feel great. I feel good for right now, and I'm hoping that it stays that way. Like, not to be dramatic, but I feel like I couldn't remember a time when my eye was not twitching. It was only twitching for like 6 days straight, and I'm just like, is this gonna be my new life? Is this forever? I know I'm being dramatic, but you know what? Let's all just appreciate our health while we have it, because you never know when your eye is gonna start twitching for 6 days straight. Another thing that I did, well, I went to that coffee shop / wine bar / bookstore, and that was my first time being in a bookstore all year, and I'm proud of myself because I looked around, browsed everything, and I didn't want anything. Honestly, something kind of caught my eye, and the old me would have just been like, okay, it caught my eye, I'm gonna buy it. Didn't buy anything. And I'm happy with that. I don't even remember what I was looking at. Like, it clearly wasn't that memorable, so. But I also went to Sephora, spent money anyway. 3 things from Sephora, $50. I can't stand Sephora. The sun is literally setting right now, so sorry if it's getting dark. So I just got a concealer brush because I've been using my fingers and I just need something to blend it out. And I'm so over beauty blenders because I'm afraid of mold. So I got a concealer brush, even though I feel like beauty blenders blend out concealer the best. I'm just scared of them right now. I got a new concealer to try. I literally had this full size and I was about to check out, saw it in the tiny one at the little in the line, and I was like, yeah, I should get a little sample first. And then the last thing I got, I know I'm gonna love. This is the Topicals lip balm, the same one that I've been using. They have a new color of it. It's this, well, it's kind of like this, it's like this dark purple, and the Rhode Raspberry Jelly I feel like looks so good on me. Like, I love it so much, so I think that this one will do. I'm about to cook dinner. I had this yesterday and it was so good. Also, I'm wearing this one sweatshirt in every clip because I take great comfort in a sweatshirt that says, everything will be fine. I need to hear that. So I finally found out what the huge scandal is, and I feel like this big reveal can be seen to some people as not that big of a deal. Happens every day to a lot of people, which is true. But honestly, I understand them. I understand why the eldest daughter thought that this was just a secret she couldn't tell anyone, and I probably would do the exact same thing in her situation, so no judgment there. It's a scandal when you have a certain type of family. I feel like I've been saying with this book that if you are an immigrant or if you have immigrant parents, there's so much that you could relate to. But even if you don't, I feel like this would be a great book to just read, learn about the experience, learn about the little things that they go through on a daily basis. And yeah, I think this book is a good one for literally anyone to read, because I was also thinking this would be a great book for me to read in my 20s, but then I realized that my mom would read this and probably relate to the mother in this book so much. Like, I think this is just for anyone. And then Natasha also goes through so much in her personal life that literally anyone can relate to. The loneliness that she talks about, the just feeling unfulfilled, and then the mother is always like worried about her children, worried that she didn't do enough for them. She's always thinking, where did she go wrong? And she see them like hurting, and she also realizes like we're all adults now and that she can't protect them anymore. There's only so much she could do. I feel like this is for everyone. Everyone can read this. If you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, you'll probably find something to relate to somewhere in here. It just feels very real, very realistic, and I have actually been underlining so many little bits of it. This book doesn't have any trigger warnings at the beginning, but maybe if you like Google them, you could find some. Yeah, I'm not seeing any trigger warnings, but maybe if you Google it, you could find trigger warnings. I don't get that easily triggered when it comes to reading books. I feel like I could handle a lot. I never do look up the trigger warnings, so I don't actually even know if they're out there. But if you want to do that, you should go search for them, because I feel like there are 2 topics in here that could possibly be triggering. I didn't even say I'm not done this. I have like this much left, but the reason why I had so much to say is because last night I literally ended off at the chapter where we found out like what this whole big secret scandal thing is, and like we find out what's going on with everyone. And I feel like we're at the like peak of the story where everything needs to start getting resolved now. In both Natasha and Suhani's point of views, they're kind of like at their worst moments, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it gets better from here. Even in the mom's point of view, she's also kind of at a terrible point too. So yeah, that's like mainly what I wanted to say about this. I just feel like everyone can gain something from reading this book. and I'm gonna go finish it now, just finish the rest of it. I'll come back and give you my full ratings when I'm done. Their mom just said, "I don't understand how Natasha can be depressed. We've given her everything." And I just wanted to throw my book across the wall. I said that I don't get triggered easily by books, but that just triggered me actually. Okay, so I finally finished What a Happy Family by Samaya Dave, and I have realized, so I feel like every time we talk about palette cleansers for books, we are thinking about like romance books, like quick, easy, fun romance books. And I read a lot of those in general anyway. So I feel like sometimes I need palette cleansers from those. I need palette cleansers from the palette cleansers. And I feel like this type of book is like perfect for that, because it's just like contemporary fiction, women's fiction, and it discusses important topics, but at the same time, and it has its deep moments, but at the same time, it doesn't hit too hard. Like, there's still some lightness behind it, and it's also just so fast-paced, quick, and easy to read, and you'll always want to like pick it up as you're reading this book, and you could just connect so easily with the characters. I feel like these are great palette cleansers too. Yeah, this is just overall pretty easy to get through, and as I said, definitely look up the trigger warnings, because we did find out more about the eldest daughter and just more about her secret that she's been keeping, and it's like honestly so sad that this is something she was embarrassed of for so long, but I won't spoil anything for you. The lighting is really weird right now, like the sun is coming in and out, I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, we find out more about her, and I just feel like everything that we find out about her and everything that Natasha is going through, it could potentially be triggering, so you should check that for yourself. I think the way that it was written, it was discussed in a serious way, but I don't think anything was too like jarring, if that makes sense. I think I made most of the points that I wanted to make about this book throughout my updates, but one thing I will say, I really do like how it wrapped up. I definitely got more into the eldest daughter's story, and once her story wrapped up nicely, I was like, yeah, I'm good, I'm done. Like, there was still about 20 pages left, and I was like, I don't know if I care anymore. I'm kidding, I care about everyone, but she was the person that I care about the most. Her and her relationship and everything that was going on with her, I just wanted her to be okay. It was a happy ending that made me smile. I wasn't exactly looking for a happy ending. I expect just realistic endings, which sometimes aren't happy, but yeah, I really like how everything ended up. Everything worked out, nice ending, wrapped up well. I've decided that I'm gonna give this book 4.25 stars, and I really recommend it. If you see this somewhere, you want to pick it up, give it a read. And now I'm very interested in reading this author's other book, Well-Behaved Indian Woman. I would be so down to read that. Anyway, I'm so glad that this little challenge got me to pick this book from my TBR card. Can't even lie, it was there, and it probably would have been catching dust and stayed there all year if it weren't for this challenge. If anyone's wondering how it's been going getting my TBR down, I started the year with 31 books on my TBR card, and now I have 22. So it's going pretty well. I feel like there was a chunk of time in January where I was just reading Onyx Storm. Onyx Storm arrived and it didn't even touch the TBR card. I just unboxed it and started reading, and it's already on my shelf now. I finished it. Another thing that I want to say is that I feel like this was a nice book to read after Onyx Storm. Like, this was a great palette cleanser for me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more. If you want to see me try to tackle my TBR some more, subscribe, because more of those videos are coming. And I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, night, whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!